But I've tried. And God is my witness. So then, I don't want to take much of your time. What should we do now? I'm talking to you as my children. If I were asked to make suggestions, I would say quietly to our government, move fast and tell our security chiefs get rid of these terrorists within 90 days or resign.
It's been over 200 days since Pastor Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, delivered a pointed message during the November 2025 Holy Ghost service at the Redemption Camp. In that sermon, themed The Eve of Glory, the respected cleric issued what many are now calling a 90-day ultimatum to the nation's security chiefs amid spiraling insecurity. Today, the clip, resurfaced, and he actually, his handler, shared the video on his X account, I believe also on his Facebook account. It's sparking intense reactions as banditry, kidnapping, and attacks continue to plague communities.
You can only advise the commander-in-chief. You can't command him. Because if you command the commander-in-chief, then you become the commander of the commander-in-chief. That doesn't make sense. But I've tried. And God is my witness. So then, I don't want to take much of your time. What should we do now? I'm talking to you as my children. If I were asked to make suggestions, I would say quietly to our government, move fast and tell our security chiefs get rid of these terrorists within 90 days or resign. Now that, I'm sure, will sound familiar to those of you who have been following situation in Nigeria. There was a president, unfortunately, he's dead now, that's Buhari, who issued such an order. Some of you will remember. Who called the service chiefs together and said, I give you 3 months. Get rid of all these Boko Haram people or resign. He's not around to tell you who gave him that advice. He ran with that advice, but he didn't follow it through. Because he gave the order as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But, the security operatives moved fast. The 3 months went, and the work was not done. So I went to see him. It was in the news, so this time somehow the press got to know that I visited him. Of course, they were not there when we talked. And unfortunately, like I said, he's not alive now. Or else I would have asked you to go and ask him. Sir, why didn't you follow through? Because when 3 months passed and the work wasn't done, why didn't you proceed with your, are we going to call it threat? I won't tell you the details, but one thing came out of that meeting. Which would lead me to my next advice to our government. In case there's any of you who can get across to them. That when giving orders to the service chief this time round, we should make it clear to them that they are not only to eliminate the terrorists, they should eliminate their sponsors. No matter how influential they may be. Whatever they want to call it. And this is not the time for saying, it's not Christian alone. Muslims are also involved. The point is, people are dying. Innocent people are dying. I almost spoke last month when I heard the speech of my in-law, the president. When I heard the speech, particularly that section that spoke about security, and you can go and listen to it again, where I heard him say, all is well now, that displaced people have returned to their villages, and I almost said, the one who wrote that speech for my president, my in-law, does not like him. And if you want to say, what do you mean? Somebody wrote it, that is the president who read it. Didn't he read it before he read it? Well, if you put it that way, then my conclusion will be there are several people around my beloved in-law who are not telling him the truth. But that's all right, because, I think the following day in the newspapers we read about a traditional ruler being killed, whether in Kwara or Kogi, while the wife was hiding somewhere in the house. But it's not the time for apportioning blames. Our president inherited this problem. It started before him. And in any case, I am an applied mathematician. I am more interested just get the problem solved. That's all.
Speaking after the service, Pastor Adeboye emphasized the sanctity of human life and urged decisive action. He advised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to engage diplomatically with then incoming US President Donald Trump for a grace period of about 100 days, while at home issuing a clear directive: give the security chiefs 90 days to eliminate terrorism, terrorists and their sponsors. He laid emphasis to the sponsors of these terrorists, that despite their influence, no matter how powerful or influential they are, they should also be eliminated, not just the terrorists, or resign. In his words, he said, if I were asked to make suggestions, I would say quietly to our government, move fast and tell our security chiefs, get rid of these terrorists within 90 days or resign. He also recalled giving similar advice during the Buhari administration regarding Boko Haram, but he said, unfortunately, Buhari is not alive now to attest to the fact that he gave him the advice to give service chiefs 90 days to eliminate Boko Haram and other forms of terror organizations. Fast forward to now, June 2026, insecurity remains a painful reality. Recent abductions in Oyo State, where government attacked schools in Orile local government area, kidnapping dozens of pupils as young as 2 years old, and teachers, have heightened national outrage. Similar incidents in Borno and elsewhere continue to make headlines. Youth-led protests against the Tinubu administration's handling of security and the economy are gaining momentum. Fast forward to now, June 2026, insecurity remains a painful reality. Recent abductions in Oyo State, where government attacked schools in Orile local government area, kidnapping dozens of pupils as young as 2 years old, and teachers, have heightened national outrage. Similar incidents in Borno and elsewhere continue to make headlines. Youth-led protests against Tinubu administration handling of the security and economy are gaining momentum. So the video is not recent. It was last year's video that angry Nigerians decided to pick up and share it, that the handler of Pastor Adeboye's page had to reshare it themselves to confirm that yes, it came from the Daddy Gio.